Welcome back to the Buzz, everybody. Old Town Mariposa 2.0. Let's bring in Bob Borchard from Bet's Gold Coin. Bob, you're back, and who do you have with us today?
I brought with me John McCamman, John C. McCamman.
John C., how are you, sir?
Excellent,
Before we go any further, what's the C stand for?
Actually, it's W. It's for William.
Okay. All right, John, how are you? How's things going?
That was a little joke.
Like John C.
C.
Fremont. I get it.
John C.
I get it. What do you do in Mariposa?
So I'm the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's California Condor Coordinator.
Wow.
So responsible for that flock of birds that are highly endangered. There's a picture of one, I think, that shows it in flight.
What a beautiful bird. How big is that bird?
That bird has a 9.5-foot wingspan.
Wow.
It weighs in about 24 pounds. It's a big bird. It's the biggest land bird in North America.
Now, do the condors, do they live in Mariposa year-round?
They don't live there yet. They are on their way, however. If you look at this map, it shows up the trail of a condor going up to Oakhurst, about 2 miles south of Oakhurst last July. That was an exploratory trip by a member of the flock, kind of checking out potential areas of expansion for their area for recovery. So they're exploring the mountains.
Okay, so they're sending a scout out? Is that what they're doing?
That's certainly one way to look at it. They do these exploratory trips occasionally. I don't really know what's in the mind of a condor, but they certainly look like they're checking out the world. So.
Now, are they going more north? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, they're heading from basically Tajon, the bottom south of Bakersfield, along the southern Sierras, along that crest area, up to Mariposa. It looks like an area where they're going to be heading soon.
And why are they coming up there, John?
They're expanding their use of their range. Their former range went from Canada to Mexico and basically the entire West, and they are continuing to expand both on the west side of the valley and the east side of the valley, their use of the mountains, because the winds are right, because there's carrion for them to eat. They only eat dead meat. So carrion out there, and part of what's going on, the reason I'm glad you had me here today is because hunting season is about ready to start, and hunters are out there producing carrion that are the food for condors. That's a great thing. So hunters and condors are partners. They're necessary for each other.
So the condors, they're eating the birds that the hunters don't get?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. One, a hunter goes out and shoots, and he may not had a perfect shot, and the deer runs off and dies later. So they clean that mess up. Also, when hunters retrieve their game, they cut the gut pile out, and they don't haul that out. And the condors find the gut pile, and that's a good use of food.
Now, this is an endangered species.
This is one of the most highly endangered species in the world.
You have some numbers for us on how many?
There are 437 condors in the world, and 232 of them are flying out in the wild.
And how many are in California?
In California, there's about 125 or so of those.
That's it.
That's it.
How much is that diminished?
Well, it started out in 1982 at 22 birds total in the world. So this is quite a growth. It's a huge success story, actually, in recovery. So the Condor Recovery Program has managed to captively breed and produce eggs and introduce those young chicks into the wild, or older chicks, actually, and expand the population. However, there's a threat to them that's preventing their recovery, and that threat is lead in the food that they eat. So when they go out and eat that carrion
from the bullets,
no. And there's a picture with the fragments of the bullets inside a deer. So a hunter shoots a deer, and those fragments, lead bullets particularly, go throughout the.
They scatter.
They create fragments, and the condors eat the meat or the entrails, and as a result get lead poisoning. And that lead poisoning often kills them. In fact, about 60% of the adult and juvenile birds where we know a cause of death have been because of lead poisoning.
And has that been the reason for their endangerment?
That it is likely one of the contributing factors to their originally declining in population until the early 80s. although we don't have a lot of research about that historic time, but it's certainly the biggest threat to them right now.
Were people hunting these birds before?
No, I mean, Lewis and Clark shot 6 of them on their travels across the Oregon, but
that was before they were rare.
Yeah,
sure.
And egg collectors back at the turn of the century were often trying to get the eggs. That was one of the prized possessions for egg collectors, to have a condor egg. So there were threats like that previously. Those threats aren't so present now. We don't have a lot of egg collectors out there trying to get the eggs of these condors, but the primary concern is hunted animals that are left in the field, or their entrails are left in the field, and the condors are eating them and getting sick and dying. And it's an awful thing to watch a condor die of lead poisoning. We've taken lead out of gasoline, out of children's toys, out of paint, a lot of areas. The kind of last remaining pollution effect from lead out there is from lead bullets.
And condors aren't the only species that are affected. They just happen to be the rare and endangered species, and they get a lot of the. But any possums, our turkey vulture population, and a lot of our wildlife that eat carrion,
including eagles. That's one of the kind of areas of concern that's being researched right now, is the impact on eagles from eating that same carrion.
So, this being your job, John, what exactly do you do out there?
In Mariposa, I'm mostly on the computer and the telephone. It's mostly a paperwork-related job. There are field sites. There are 3 field sites in California, 1 in Arizona, and 1 in Baja California, where there are teams of biologists in the field who actually go out and capture and handle these birds, test their blood, get them treated if they have lead poisoning. It's a very extensive management process. It's not a sustainable management process. We can't keep doing that for all the birds that are released as the population continues to expand.
Well, the wildlife, the fish and game, I mean, there really isn't anything that the hunter is doing wrong here, because they can't avoid it, right? They're out there legally hunting, but the bullets and are made of the lead, and that's all that they really have available to them.
Well, there is a law in California that says in the range of condor only right now, they shouldn't use lead bullets for hunting big game. And there are copper bullets and other kinds of mixtures of bullets available in the marketplace. They are more expensive. So there is a downside for the hunter in terms of doing what they can to extend their conservation ethic, which is hunting is a very conservation-oriented activity, and extending that ethic means that they're going to have to pay a little more for their bullets in order to avoid a secondary impact that they don't intend. They don't want to kill these other animals that feed on their meat. It just happens.
What about the retailers? Is there anybody doing anything about them?
You know, we've talked a lot to the retailers. I think Walmart's the biggest seller of bullets in the world, and would love to get them to feature non-lead ammunition. There is a new state law in California. It's not in Arizona or Mexico, but in California, which is going to require that for any hunting activity, beginning in 2019, you have to use non-lead ammunition. So the demand for non-lead ammunition in the state will go up, and I think the retailers will see the opportunity then.
And they'll just sell a bunch of it.
And they'll sell a bunch. It'll be marked up, so actually they're benefiting it as well.
All right, well, the hunters that are watching out there right now, pretty important stuff.
It is important. The hunting season, the big game season, largely deer, as the most popular season, starts in 2 weeks, and I'd ask that hunters who are going out to bag their deer go for it, but use non-lead ammunition.
Okay. So. John, very nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on. Very interesting stuff. Now, Bob,
yes.
Before we go, you have some things going on in Mariposa this weekend yourself, don't you?
Well, the town rocks. You know that. The big thing is Friday night football. And
at the Gold Bowl.
At the Gold Bowl at the high school, and we're going to kick things off about 5:30 with the JV game, and about 7:30 our varsity will kick off. Monday, of course we have entertainment throughout the town. At the Coal Coin, we will have Cottonwood Creek Friday night, and Saturday we have Mike and the Lavios brothers, and they are amazing musicians. They're getting really popular. And the big thing is that we discovered Monday Night Football. And I got to tell you that I forgot all about it. Okay?
You forgot how fun it was?
I walked in there Monday night. Last night? Night before, Monday night. I walked into the place was wall to wall, packed. People watching a football game.
Excellent.
And having a great time. And I had forgot how much fun Monday Night Football is. We have raffles. We have games with trivia. But there's always things going on around town. And right now, football seems to be the game.
All right. Bob Borchard, Bet's Gold Coin. Always good to go to Old Town Mariposa with you, my friend. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back on the buzz. Stick around.
Welcome to the Gold Coin. You have a seat wherever you like.
Dirty, just will never forget where I'm from and who I am. The red winged birds is my goodbye song. Knows I'm leaving this time this night. Pack my bags and memories. This time think I'm headed east. Found somewhere to win my day.
This is the real U.S. dollar, a gold coin. And it's yours if you can answer one simple question for me.